Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Gentlemen, we are joined by Megan Anderson, and we want to say thank you first for coming on to speak with us. You are getting ready, you're very close to fighting on Invicta FC. You've got a matchup against here we go, I'm going to try and spit this out here. Amber, and we'll leave it like that. No, it's Amber Leibrock. I'm going to try and sound like posh saying it.
I'd say Leibrock.
Leibrock. So you're trying to say it like me as well. Leibrock.
Yeah,
we'll just say it like that. You're fighting Amber, basically. So, but you're fighting back on Invicta on UFC Fight Pass. You've moved gyms, though, I believe.
Yes, I have. I've not only moved gyms, I've moved countries. I'm now living in the States, and I'm training at Glory MMA and Fitness.
And you're training with the boys, Mr. Gutierrez. I saw you were helping out Mr. Gutierrez because he recently, and you were helping announce that he was a single man and trying to get him matched up. It was a beautiful thing you did. Yes. I saw that.
Did you manage to?
Did you get him hooked? Did you get him matched up with the love of his life yet?
I haven't, but the ultimate wing woman will prevail.
I was going to say, me and Mike are really good at finding the kind of bunny boiler girls for men. You know, we're very good at that.
I think I found all of them. I've paid a few off.
You married one. Then divorced her.
Enough about that. Right, yeah.
No, but...
and then got me gun licence.
You moved... What was the reasoning behind it?
I nearly moved countries as well, you know.
I know. What was the reasoning, Megan, then, for moving, from Australia to the States?
I had the opportunity to, what I planned to do after, my last fight on Invicta 14, I was going to stay and train at Glory for probably around 2.5 weeks. And whilst I was here, my visa was approved, my working visa. So they asked me, do I want to go home or would I like to stay and train here full time? And I, took up the opportunity.
Nice. And I tell you what, you're with a bunch of great people there.
Yeah, they seem fun.
Yeah, we've had a handful. We've had pretty much nearly all the guys on from there on here, but they seem to have such a good kind of bonding and just always up for obviously they're developing their skill level and just good lads. They must have been quite welcomed when you went there.
Yeah, definitely. Like they've all been pretty cool and welcomed me into the team and helping me out. So I couldn't have asked for a better gym to move to.
Now, I was going to say, in the women's division, you like I say, you fought in the last Invicta. Now, you fought Cindy. And you lost that bout. Now, how have you taken that loss? Because obviously, it was a loss on Invicta, your debut. How have you taken that on, like, mentally? How did you, because it is, a loss is a loss, but you've got to accept that there are things you can learn from that.
Yeah. I took that loss pretty hard, but I also learnt a lot from it. So as much as I hate losing, I feel like I learnt more from losing that fight than I probably would have winning that fight.
Mm. And obviously with that loss, coming down to Glory then, do you feel that with that kind of high level of quality around you, do you think that's just upped your game so that, if you ever got the chance to go and rematch against it, you think, it's going to be a different game, different fight altogether?
Yeah, no, 100%. The level of training here is incredible, and even a month training here, if I had that rematch, it would be a different story.
Because you've got...
I was going to say, so now you're basically a different Megan.
Yes. But, Megan, I have noticed your skill set that you've got is something that... You've got such long dexterity. Your arms you've got... I'll put it this way, your arms and legs are long. Let's put it that way, right? Your reach is nuts, okay? You're a really tall woman, all right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen.
You got similar genes to me then.
Yeah. How massive are you again?
Just in blue.
Yeah, no.
It's the only thing to say. I'm not the tallest.
No. Megan's a lot taller than you, Mike.
Is she?
Yeah. Mike's 5'4".
And a half.
And a half, because every half an inch counts for a man.
Does.
But, hey...
I hope you're laughing at something else.
I know, I hope she's laughing at something else.
There was no joke in there, you know.
Yeah. He is that half an inch. But Megan, no, is it 5'11" you are?
Yeah, you are a bit
I'm
taller.
6 foot.
6 foot, look at that straight away. No,
Yeah.
6 foot, not pissy,
You're
5'11".
You're a bit taller.
Yeah, you're a bit taller. So, the big
That's
skill...
Slightly.
height.
Slightly. Now, Megan, the thing with the height is, I've said it before, it's not often fighters use their range and their length to their... So have Glory been kind of honing in on this? Because it's something that you should... I think if your teeps should be huge, jabs should be huge. You know, is this something that you've been kind of focused on a little bit at all?
Yeah. My coach James Krause
Yeah.
has definitely been working on helping me to use my range like more effectively. Like he has we fight very similar, and he's been helping me out on teaching me things that he does really well, and just passing on an amazing amount of knowledge to help improve my game. And I think that's definitely one thing that we've been focusing on.
Yeah, I was about to say, because when I look at obviously fights and stuff and try to be as professional as I can and try to focus on the fight itself, like I said, your dexterity is something that can be used. For example, on the ground, your legs and your arms, you've got those lengths that can be useful for jiu-jitsu as well. So, the only thing is you might be susceptible for the takedowns. That's the only kind of negative from it, so to speak, because there is a positive and negatives to everything, every physique. But for elbows, for you should be like a jab in a way. That's
knees.
Knees.
Nasty knees.
Your knees could hit someone's chin without going up too far. So it's a beautiful kind of combination you can use with your length. See, so that's why I'm just curious to see what those boys have been doing with you at Glory.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've been working on a lot of different things, and my games has grown, exponentially in the few months that I've been here. So I'm excited to showcase it in a week and a half time.
And we love Invicta fight cards. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And on a pure, again,
straight up professionally.
Straight up professionally, yeah. We actually mean that. We're not
because-
saying just because of the weigh-ins. We're talking about the actual fights.
There seems to be... I can remember when women's boxing sort of came around. Women's boxing
That's
was...
how old Mike is, by the way.
Yeah, all right.
But go on.
But yeah, it was low level. It was kind of amateurish in a professional sport. But when women's MMA sort of cracked open, the fights were really good. They still are, Mike. They still are. Yeah, but what I mean is they were never bad. They were always good fights. And so whenever you sort of see other cards that have got women's fights on, you always think, okay, well, at least there's one good fight on the card. Yeah.
It is like that. And the thing with Invicta is the girls, what Shannon's doing there, and I thought it was a great idea, and I think it's great what they're still doing, and the fact that they've got the Fight Pass deal, it gives you that much more exposure to get yourselves out there to the public. I think it's...
Yeah, the way they work with the UFC.
It's a beautiful thing. When you signed up with Invicta, you must have been absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, definitely. Shannon and Julie do such great things for women's MMA, and it is the top organisation. So to be able to give it a chance to perform, put on a show and represent, my country is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I was going to say the support you get back home must be huge, because there's not many Australian female fighters, in the top levels of MMA around. So you must get quite a great following behind you.
Yeah, I get support from back home. I get more support from people here in the States, social media wise, and
a lot of men.
Home, so
I'm guessing there's a lot of men by any chance.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea. And when we put the picture up of
I don't
Megan,
know why either.
again, it will be a very, because ladies and gentlemen, Megan, we put a picture up of the guests that we have on from the podcast on our Facebook page, and we put in the social media links and stuff. I'll put on a very professional picture of Megan, and again, I don't know why. You'll understand, Anyway,
Got a few likes.
I've got I might get a few likes, but yeah. But the thing is that is a balance. Like let's put it this way: you're a very attractive woman, Megan, and you've got a skill set. You've got a killer combo. I'll be honest with you.
Just like me.
Just like Mike, yeah. Just like Mike. Mike is drop dead gorgeous.
I am.
He's got the perfect face for radio.
In fact, I don't put a lot of photos up just because it drains my battery.
I know. I can't handle looking at him. He's like remember on Step Brothers? He's like a combination. It's like looking at Jesus and Fergie. It's what it's like. I can't handle looking at him. He's too beautiful.
Don't worry,
That's why we didn't put a camera on, Megan, because you'd probably pass out and faint. That's what it's like with Mike.
Or you'd be screenshotting it to death.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And you wouldn't even be listening.
And we've got to concentrate and be professional.
We've got to be professional the whole time. But it does have its advantages, being attractive. I know it sounds terrible, but being an attractive female does help your exposure in the sport and getting that kind of following. But then again, you can prove it in your fighting as well. It's not like you went in there and it's not like you're 0-10 and you've had 10 losses.
The fighting talks as well.
The fighting talks as well. So do you find with the balance of the tension that you get and having the fighting skills, do you find that it does help in a way? It does help having both.
I feel like I think it does help. With exposure, and unfortunately that is the case. But it definitely, I think if you are better looking, you're going to be, get more exposure than someone who, maybe isn't. But I think it's how you take those opportunities is how you deal with it. So. Yeah. If you do it in a positive way, then it's it's all for you. But I think a lot of people can be really tacky about it.
Yes.
And it kind of brings women's MMA down a bit, I think.
Yeah, it is a fine line. It is like we joke around all the time, but we'll joke. We've had other female fighters on. We'll have a giggle. Do you know what I mean? We are men, of course, but we're not assholes at the end of the day. We just have to have a giggle about it. And the thing is, that some people people who aren't educated in the sport will just go, oh, it's just some bimbo fighting, you know what I mean? And they won't understand it.
Do you know what they should do? Yeah. Those people should get to roll with them.
No, not roll. No,
well,
they probably like to do that. Yeah,
smacked in the head,
just do K1.
Just smack
but you know what I mean? They should get the spar with you and go, all right then. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, but we might want to put a head guard on as well.
Proof in the pudding.
But that's the thing. It's having that balance. It's not like you're going to sit there. Oh, Megan Anderson's fighting Invicta. Oh, and she's doing a Playboy spread. It's not the right balance. Yeah. You want to go. Yeah, she's done a photo shoot for, let's say, a fight where we'll just use Reebok as an example. All right, say okay, Megan's doing a photo shoot with Reebok. Yeah, you're going to look kind of like when Ronda does that. Her kind of shoots with the swimwear. It's purposely meant to be sexy in a way. It's I'm not very smart, so I don't know big words. So it's meant to be sexy.
John's going to dig himself a hole in a minute. You know that.
But at the same time, what do you mean dig? I'm trying to dig out. So it's
dig up, stupid.
Dig up, stupid. No, but Megan, it's meant to be kind of sexy, but at the same time, it's a professional look. It's not a tacky look. And like you said, you've got to have a fine balance. So do you have people helping you out to make sure you don't? Basically, no one tries to, I don't know, say, con you in a way to make you look tacky. Do you have people helping you out to maybe advise you where to go and who to speak with and who to deal with?
Yeah, I definitely my mum she's always saying, make sure you don't do this, or make sure you don't put out that image, or and I always have my management here who are help me along the way, and Poster Boy, they're really good at guiding me and what I should do, and getting me the right kind of exposure.
So what, you send a picture to your mum? Do you send a picture to mum saying, Mum, shall I post this?
I'm sure John might help
It's
you
the way
out
you.
with that.
It's just the way you worded it. Then I was like, "What? You send a picture to your mum to say, shall I post it?" I don't.
I think John's applying for a job with you. I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to say, so you haven't got anyone at the moment then to help you with that? Because I got some free time. You know, that's normally John's approach, like, you know. But he hasn't got to that bit yet. Yeah, he's bad at job interviews.
So anyway, have you got anyone? No.
Yeah.
I honestly, in all seriousness, honestly, I am literally just I can't help but I can't look at you straight, Megan. If I have to admit,
right. So anyway,
you're far too attractive. Sorry, but you're taking on Amber, all right? And
looking forward to it.
Yes.
oh, I am looking forward to it, and I will be watching. Mike, I swear to God, Mike, I would punch you, Mike, but I don't want to break you too.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't punch me.
What about your opponent Amber? Okay, when you're coming up against whoever you're fighting, like you fought Cindy last time, do you research opponents? Do you like to leave your coaches to look after for example, did James look at it and go, "I'll deal with this. We're going to work on specifics, and here's this," or do you like to watch your opponent's fights as well?
Like, I'll, maybe watch, one or two of her fights, but I kind of left that up to James. Like, I don't feel the need to, watch any of her stuff or listen to any of her interviews. I don't really care at the end of the day what she says or what she does. So I just leave all that up to James, and he'll help me work on my game where I need to, and he'll come up with a game plan, and not really a game plan, but things that we want to focus on. So I don't really do much.
Yeah, I was going to say, because for example, if Amber always dropped her left hand after she threw a right straight, he might work on a combination where you parry the right straight and then you counter. Because there's going to be that thing exposed. And there's little things like that. So it's always worth asking. I'm not saying she does do that. I'm not saying she does do that. But
we've looked at what she kind of does well and what she doesn't do well, and how she kind of moves. So and at the end of the day, I'm going to implement my game plan, so I'm ready for, I guess, whatever she brings to the cage.
Because it must be exciting times for you, because you're still evolving in the fight game. You're still getting to nowhere near your peak level, the possibilities that you could reach. You're still growing, and you're still, obviously, like you said, when you're been at Glory for a month, you're completely different in a way of a fighter. So, it's you must be quite excited then, watching back, maybe if you watch any footage back of your training, or knowing how well you're growing. It must be quite an exciting time for you then.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting. I've only been doing this for 2.5 years, so I have a long time before I think I hit my where I could possibly achieve. So I'm really excited. I feel like I have the best team behind me, and the level of training here at Glory, I honestly believe we could go as far as we wanted to.
Yeah.
And with our mindset and abilities, that there's nowhere else that I'd want to be.
I was going to say, and you're with the right promotion for it too. You're not in Australia on a local show in Australia trying to find your footing or trying to find your matchups. You're with the best promotion to be around, really, Invicta, because Shannon's going to be able to get you the right matchups.
Yeah, you're in the right place to cut your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great place to learn. It's a great place to get to, like you say, cut your teeth, Mike. It's a great stepping stone, so to speak, in your future career, as you could possibly go on further too.
And it has that wonderful link with the UFC.
Exactly.
So...
and that's something that you could look at in the future. Because the last thing you want to do is go now. For example, let's say you go in and have 2 fights and they want to sign you up. It's probably a bit, and it's not even to be detrimental to you. You still want to probably learn more. You still want to probably grow and make sure when you go to the UFC,
because people want to go there to stay there.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to go there and smash people, not get smashed and get knocked back out and get back into Invicta.
So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is. It's a very much. It's just taking those baby steps, and then you'll be flying. And do you know what, Megan? I'm super excited to see you throw down against Amber. It's going to be awesome, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't got Fight Pass.
Yeah, why?
Me and Mike always say this.
Why? Why haven't you got a Fight Pass? $10 or whatever it is.
But just give up your heroin addiction just for a month. Honestly, it's well worth getting Invicta for.
Yeah.
And Fight Pass 4. We love Fight Pass, and Invicta's back. Get to watch Cyborg again.
Even if
Cyborg.
I was going to say, even if it's just for the Pride Library.
No, yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's worth it for that alone. Like,
you can watch the head stomps again. Come on.
You know,
can't go wrong with that. You know, Vanderlei Silva juiced up off his tits with no neck, just traps in a head.
Not having to worry about a pee test. You know?
Exactly. Who doesn't want to see that?
But
we have got.
But yeah, you've also got a lot of live fights.
There's a lot, yeah, and like we say, you got Invicta coming up, and Megan's going to be fighting on it against Amber, and I believe the headline act is Cyborg defending a title.
Yeah,
she's back at 145. You see, it's not. Because it was going to be 140, then
but she's
Ronda got smoked and that kind of pissed on the chips, and then Cyborg went, I'll eat some more food, and so it's a shame. But anyway, Megan, before we let you go, we need to know what your social media stuff is. I'm not saying I already follow it, but I might have already been following it for a while. So what's your Twitters, Instagrams, Facebooks, Bebo, MySpace, all that stuff? Telephone number?
Telephone number. Well, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Facebook, it's Megan Anderson MMA, and on everything else, it's Megan A_MMA.
There you go.
And guys out there, be nice.
Yeah, be nice. Don't be arseholes.
Don't be like John. Be nice.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Me.
Be opposite to me. Don't send dick pics to her because they're all small and tiny. Don't bother.
John sends them, but people think he's doing a tuck away.
Exactly. They're like, what's that, half an inch? So, Megan, what about your sponsors out there? Who's sponsoring you? Who's backing you up? Because I know you've got some sponsors, so give them all a shout out and a praise.
Yeah, well, I have a few. I've got to try and remember them all.
Oh, here we go. We've got to
see, you need a written list.
You need a written list. Or get it tattooed on your forearm or something.
I don't think there's room.
Yeah, there isn't probably.
But like first and foremost is my management, Poster Boy Fighters. Like they help me out so much, and like I wouldn't be here without them. I've got Pros Nation and BPI Sports, Fick Electric Skateboards, Sissy Fight Gear, Fit Marks Bags, Title MMA, Grip Mouth Guards, Aardvark Painting, and V-Heart Design.
There you go. And I think I tried to help Sissy Fight Gear do some new colours.
Thank you to all of them.
Yeah, Sissy Fight Gear, I think I tried to get them on Twitter when I suggested new colours that they have for rash guards as well. So who knows, my pushing off that might help you guys. What was the other thing? That was it. What about coaches? Obviously, James Krause. Want to give a shout out to your training partners. The most eligible bachelor, we'll obviously say, Anthony Gutierrez.
Yeah, no, a huge thank you, to my coaches James Krause and Tim Elliott. They're both going to come out and corner me, and I couldn't be happier with the pair as coaches. They're phenomenal athletes and phenomenal coaches. All my training partners here at Glory MMA and Fitness, without them, you can't train alone. You can't shadow away your box. You can't shadow box your way to a fight.
I tell you what, you can. You never get bruised.
I wouldn't have any training partners. But and a huge thank you to my family and my parents back home. It's a big sacrifice, me not being here and having the holiday season away from home. It wasn't easy, so their support means so much, and yeah.
And Mum checking out those photos.
Yes. Make sure that you don't post the wrong things online. That's very good of her. Honestly, Megan, have a great fight against Amber. We never say good luck because there's no luck. Let's be honest. Like you said, if you shadow boxed until you had a fight, you'd get your ass kicked.
The hours of work you put in.
Exactly. And I'm sure with the Glory, you're training with some great guys. We love those boys, to be fair. And look, have a great time, have a great weekend, have a great experience, and just enjoy the whole time you're there.
No worries. Thanks so much, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah.